quick. How is everybody today? All right, there we go. All right. Okay. Let me make sure you're on here. Yeah, I have some stuff I have to use up today, so we're gonna do a potluck, I guess you could call it. Oh, I have it turned the wrong way. Okay. Let me make sure you're on here real quick. And then I'll wash my hands and we'll get ready. All right, there you are. I see ya. Alrighty. Pull you back there. Okay, so what today I made up is I'm going to take potatoes. I had a whole bunch of potatoes I had to use up. And I had some right here there. Meatballs I had to use up. And then when I had my dental work being done, I got all these red beans, so I got to use some of them up. And I'm going to take some tomatoes and some chili crisp and some sweet chili sauce. So we're going to just make it. I'm going to make it almost like a lasagna. I'm going to layer it like a lasagna and see how it turns out. Let me drain these red beans. I'm using red beans here. So we're going to use this, and I have some other things in the refrigerator I got to get used up. I call it a potluck. I do this sometimes when I have things I have to use up. I'm not going to put a lot of red beans in them, but I am going to put some in them. I don't even know if it's coming up. I mean, I have more, I think, up there. So, let's see how this turns out. Alrighty. I just wanted to get that done. Maybe I better see if I have one more can. I probably do. Hold on one second here. You know what? Right, this one. I've got one more can. I do have one more can. It just doesn't look like it's that much. So we're just going to put one more can in there. I have it written down that if you use 2 or 3 cups of I like to rinse my red beans off. If you use 2 or 3 cups of potatoes, you could do it in 9x13 with some meatballs. So I want to pull this out though. I'm going to sit this right, you know what, I'm going to move this back. I'm going to set this right here because I got to wash my hands off. And I don't want that in there when I put that soap in there. Alrighty. So what we're going to do is I'm going to preheat the oven to 375. This is going to take a little while. Should probably take about close to an hour and a half. I parboiled my potatoes. If you don't parboil your potatoes, it would take at least about an hour and a half, maybe a little longer. But I parboiled my potatoes. I sliced them and then parboiled them. Alrighty. So I have that right now on 375. I'm not gonna use a 9x13 because I have a whole bunch of potatoes here. So I have a lot of potatoes here to use up. So I had them in the refrigerator for about 2 weeks ago, so I want to use them up before they go bad. So I sprayed that really well. Let me put this back up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a sauce here. So I'm going to take my diced tomatoes. This is going on a wing and a prayer, let me tell you, because I just added a bunch of things together to try this. And leave the juice in them. Okay. You know what, I wonder if I have I don't have any small cans of tomatoes, tomatoes, I mean. I do have a crushed tomato if I need it. I'll get it out just in case. Okay, so I have the diced tomatoes. I also am going to use broth, and I'm going to use some, you can use half, I put down half and half for broth. I'm going to use, I have some heavy cream I got to use up, so I'm going to use that. So it's 3 to 4 cups of potatoes sliced, but I have way more than that, so that's why I'm using a bigger pan. I have I have a cup of onion and a cup of celery in here, or close to it. And then I said 1 can of red beans, but I used more because I'm making a bigger one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is in this bowl, I'm going to put the tomatoes. I'm going to put, I got this stuff to use up too, so we're getting creative today. Very creative, to say the least. Alright, so I'm going to use, I put down 2 to 3 tablespoons of this. I'm not going to use, I'll probably use all of this up, because it's only going to be about 2 or 3 tablespoons. Like I said, I have a lot of, yeah, I'm going to use all this up. I'm going to put a little bit of broth in there to get that. I got this for when I was doing the noodles, was having my work done. And, now that I'm not, I mean, I still eat noodles. I eat a lot of noodles. I like noodles. Noodles is one of my favorite things, so I eat a lot of noodles. But I don't need to eat them. All right. Put a little bit more. Trying to get that out. Let me get something to get that out. Alrighty. That chili crisp gets stuck in there, and I don't want to waste it. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to clean a lot of my refrigerator out with this stuff that's been laying around. Trying to figure what I'm going to do. I have some grape jelly in there, and I don't eat jelly. So I'm trying to figure out what I can do with that too. So I'm coming up with some ideas. I might make a chicken with it next week. All right, then I need 2 to 4 tablespoons of this, but I'm going to need more because I'm using more. It would be a 15-ounce can. This is 1. Hold on a second. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to use it all. This is almost all. Good. That takes care of that. Excellent. I'm going to use, I'll pour a little bit in there. Try to get that out there. All right. I'm using beef broth, and then, like I said, I got a little bit of heavy cream in there yet I got to use up, so I'm also going to use that. All right, there's that. Let me, I put down about a half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of broth, or half and half. I'm going to use about a cup and a half, maybe even a little bit more. Okay. So the heavy cream, I only even have a 1/4 of a cup. So I said about a cup and a half, right? I'll do about 2 cups. Because I am going to add some I'm going to add some cheese sauce I have. Cheese dip that I had bought. I can use about a cup of this. I put down about a cup. So now to take pretty much all of this. Put that in there. Like I said, this is just, I'm going to make it almost like a lasagna, per se. So, and then I put down, you can add sour cream if you want. You don't have to. But I am going to use some sour cream because I got to use the sour cream up too. So I'm going to use that also. I mean, I'll put it on the recipe card, but I'm just using all this up. I'm trying to get everything out of there. So, like I said, I don't want to throw it out. So, all right, I'm going to mix all this up now. And this is going to be like the sauce. And if it's too thick, I can always add more broth. I don't want it too spicy, though, for one thing, because some people in Amanda's house don't like spicy, so I'm trying to tone it down a little bit. I'm going to use some stuff here too. I didn't put this on the list, but I have this onion that I have to use up, this minced onion. Then I'm going to put in, what did I put? I'm going to put a little garlic powder in there too. I didn't put down how much. That's pretty much up to you. I'll just do like a teaspoon of it. That's my onion. Alright. And then I'm going to put some smoked paprika in here. I don't want this to overpower because this is kind of strong. So I'll do about a half of a teaspoon. Like I said, I'm going to try it then because I got to make sure. I'm going to use a little bit of, I'm not going to put any salt in this because we don't use a lot of salt. I put down the taste, but the potatoes have salt in them. And the cheese dip has salt in it, so I don't want to, like I said, we don't use a lot of salt, so. Alright, so this is going to be like the sauce. So now what we're going to do is, if I got this right, and this here might not be enough. Hopefully it's enough sauce. If not, I got more tomatoes. Okay. Let me move this out the way. Alright. I'm going to take my pan here. I got to get my cheese out. I grated up some cheese. Oh, I got to mix my onions and peppers in there yet. I mean, not like peppers, onions and celery. Sorry, I didn't mean that. Alrighty. Like I said, just let me try a little taste of that. just going to put a little bit more of this in there because it does have a little bit of a tip to it. Try to lighten it up a little bit. Alright. That's going to have to work. Alright, so what we do is we take our potatoes. I parboil these. You don't have to parboil them, you just have to leave them in longer. And I have two different kinds of potatoes here. Because I had some of them little, some of these are still going to be hot because I had some of those little creamers. So I thought I'd put them in the middle layer. I just don't want to burn my hands. So we're going to layer it like a lasagna here. Now I'm getting down to the hot stuff. I don't want to burn my hands off. Alright. There we go. There's potatoes in the bottom. Let me get a paper towel and get that potato up so I don't fall anywhere to go. I know I dropped it. I felt it drop. I don't know where it went. I'll get it then. Alright. I'm going to put a couple of these little ones in between it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to, what did I say I was going to do next? I'm going to put some of this sauce on top of it. I'm going to put some red beans on it next. And then I'll put my sauce on it. Oh, by the way, that fudge that I made the other day, everybody loved it. I had to make some more this morning for somebody, so, I mean, I didn't have to, but they asked me to. So I did. Alrighty, now I'm going to put some sauce on this. Like I said, it's just like you would be having a lasagna. Same concept. And this is like the tomato sauce. Alright, so now I cut these are my meatballs, and I halved them. So I'm just going to throw some in here. I put a little bit of that sweet chili sauce on them. So, alright, that should be good. So I can keep the rest for the next layer. Alright, then I'm going to take some cheese, and I'm going to put that on top. I don't want to overdo it with the cheese because Steve doesn't like a lot of cheese. And the other day, something I made last week, I put a lot of cheese on it, and Steve asked me if I could cool down some of the cheese. So, all right, so now I'm going to take these baby potatoes in here, or the crispers, or whatever you want to call them. I guess it don't matter. Okay. I want to keep enough for the top layer. Some of these got a little bit done more than others, especially on the bottom. Alright. So there's another layer of the potatoes. Okay. Then I'm going to take the rest of the beans, and I'm going to put them on. Spread them around. Let me get this out. That probably wasn't the best idea because it was raining. Alright. split that up a little bit so it's not all over the place. Okay. Now we're going to take a little bit more of this sauce and put on top of this. Okay. There we go. I got to keep sauce for the top. So now I'm going to take the rest of these meatballs, and I did bake these up, so they were already baked. Take the rest of them. I'm not a big meatball person, but we had them to use, so. All right, there's that. Now I'm going to take a little bit more cheese on there. Then I'm going to cover it with the rest of these potatoes. I'm going to cover it with the rest of these, and then I'm going to use the rest of that sauce. I'm going to do it like this, and then I'll spread them around. Okay. Get them on the top for the top layer. There you go. That's a big one. Oh, Lord. Now we're going to put the rest of this, probably the rest of this sauce. I do want to make sure I get all the tomatoes and stuff. But yeah, I'm sure I'll use the rest of this. Like I said, I doubled this recipe because I doubled the potatoes. So. I'm going to put the rest of it on there. Them potatoes will probably soak a lot of that juice up. Alright. There's that. Try a potato. That's pretty good. Alright. I'm gonna cover it with foil. I might put a little bit of cheese on it later. I don't know yet. Or maybe I'll put it on some of it. Because like I said, Steve asked me not to put a lot of cheese on my stuff. And that's okay. Alright, let me put this cheese on. Okay. So now, get my aluminum foil. And I'm going to cover this. Make sure you cover it tightly. Like I said, if you're going to not parboil your potatoes, you're going to have to leave it in for about an hour. And then you take the cap off. Let me get a, oh, there's that potato. All over my shield. Okay, good. All right. All right, so I'm going to stick this in the oven. It is 345. So because I parboil my potatoes, I don't have to leave mine in quite as long as if I didn't parboil them. So I'm going to about 45 minutes. So 4:30, I'm going to check it. And as long as it's getting pretty well done, I'm going to take off the I'm going to take the aluminum foil off, and I'm going to leave it in for about another 15 or 20 minutes. If you use raw potatoes, you're going to have to leave it in at least an hour. And then when you take the aluminum foil off, you're going to have to leave it in for about a half an hour. So what I did was I took, this is the recipe, 3 to 4 cups of potatoes. I sliced them, a cup of onion, a cup of celery finely chopped. The onion was finely chopped. I took, well, I used more because I doubled mine. A can of red beans, a can of diced tomatoes with juice. These are both 15-ounce cans. I used the, whatever the bigger one is. What is it? 28 ounces. 2 to 3 cups of cooked meatballs, sliced in half. 1 to 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. I used sharp end cheddar. 2 to 3 tablespoons of chili crisp. 2 to 4 tablespoons of sweet chili sauce. A cup and a half. I mean, a half a cup to 3/4 a cup of half and half or broth. I had a little bit of heavy cream, so I put that in there. Salt and pepper to taste. Optional, you can use a cup of cheese dip if you want. You can use sour cream like I did. I used about a cup of sour cream. You can use garlic powder, smoked paprika. I put both of them on there. They're all optional. So I parboiled mine. So I put salt in my water, had the water come to a boil, put the potatoes in and parboiled them for 3 to 5 minutes. And then I preheated my oven to 375 and I greased a 9x13, but I used a bigger one because I'm doing them more. In a bowl, I mixed the tomatoes, the chili crisp, the sweet chili sauce, half and half or broth, onion, celery, salt, pepper, and optional spices. And then if you're going to use any cheese dip or sour cream, you can put it right in there too. So you're going to lay your casserole like lasagna. So you start at the bottom with the potatoes like you would the noodles. I did not put any broth on the bottom because this broth is a little bit loose, not as thick as spaghetti sauce. So it creeped down in there. So I put a thing of potatoes down, then I put some red beans, then I put some of the sauce, then I put some of the meatballs, then I put some cheese, then I put another layer of potatoes, another layer of red beans, another layer of sauce, meatballs, and cheese, and then on top I put potatoes, and I used the rest of the sauce on the top. I have it in the oven for, mine's going to be about 45 minutes. If you didn't parboil your potatoes, leave them in for at least an hour. Take off the aluminum foil and bake them for another 15 to 20 minutes. You might even, if you didn't parboil them, you might even have to leave them in about half an hour. But you'll have to pull one out, take a fork and pull a potato out, see if they're tender, soft enough for you. And there you go. That's what it is. So like I said, this won't come out of the oven till probably about 4:45, 10 to 5. I'll pull it out and then I'll be back because I got to let it rest for a few minutes. So, because I want to try to slice it like a lasagna if I can. So, there you have it. I won't be here tomorrow, I don't think. And I work on Wednesday, but I will be back on Thursday. If I don't do it tomorrow, I will be here on Thursday. If you're coming back, I'll see you around 5 o'clock. If not, hope your rest of your day is good. Have a good evening. Stay blessed, and don't forget you are loved. All right, Steve.
Okay.